Hello, hello, Stampers. Welcome to another Monday. Make it Monday on a Monday. Woohoo! Always like it when I can accomplish that. It was a very long day, though. I literally just got home from work 16 minutes ago. But I'm happy I had everything all pre-done and cut last night so that I could share it in the chat for any of you that wanted to stamp along. Hi, Kim. I know I was hoping to get those posted earlier in the week. There was not enough time in the day to do it. So hopefully you're able to cut some paper and stamp along with me. And if not, that's okay. You can catch the replay and stamp a card of your own if you're interested in trying to make this fun fold. Hey, Daylene. Hi, Deborah. Again, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who participated in the Heart Stampers group on Friday night for our catalog walkthrough party. It was super fun. Hopefully you got a chance to browse through all the catalogs and you played some games and participated and were able to give out some prizes. Ha, Sue's at the Oilers game. Woo. Okay, sounds good, Sue. Have fun. Cheer on those players for us. Anyways, we had all kinds of fun, and I just want to say again, congratulations to Suzanne, Joanne, and Sherry for kind of getting some hot points and being the Spirit Award. But of course, everyone participated, and I just thought it was a whole lot of fun, and I thank you all for that. Now, the next virtual party, it's a little different than that one, but mark your calendars for February 13th. Which is Valentines Day. We have a fun party on Zoom where we also play games. Can you tell what the common theme here is? I really like to party. I like to celebrate, and we're going to do a lot more of that this year. Starting off with today, kicking off the Prize Patrol. So those of you who are not familiar with Prize Patrol is you buy a ticket. The ticket is $10. You can buy as many tickets as you'd like. However, I put a stop at the tickets at $65, and reason being there's just a difference in shipping prices and stuff that happen after that. So I will sell 65 tickets at $10 each, and you'll have a chance to win a prize. And that prize will be a minimum value of $10 based on products in the celebration, based in the mini catalog, based in the scrapbook catalog, based on the online exclusives. You just never know what you might win. So you, with your $10 ticket, so again, you can buy as many as you want. You could be winning, a paper pack that's like valued at $17 out of celebrations, or you might win like a $150 value bundle. If you're playing bingo this weekend, you might win this bundle just in time for Valentine's Day. It's called the Heart Shape Bundle. It's a perfect pair of dies and shapes. If you haven't registered yet, I did order one extra kit or one extra stamp set yesterday, so let me know if you want to join us if you haven't registered. But you might win, maybe you'll win a bundle with the stamp set and dies. You just don't know. Depends what I end up ordering. I'm not ordering our whole product suite. I mean, I might order it in order to get the deal, like a bundle price, to get a bunch of components. But you know what? Even if you were to buy like the party dots on their own, it's $11. So you're already saving money, not paying shipping, saving $1 on the dots. I mean, and that's worst case scenario. But you could win a punch, which is like valued at $33. So you just don't know what the prizes are. And I don't know what they are right now either. I'll just randomly choose them. When I do the little post, because it'll be in the Party Patrol, Prize Patrol, no, what do I call them? I think I call them Papercraft Party. I don't remember what I call it. But anyways, I will do the post after our session today, and that's where you can put how many tickets you want, or you can text me and I'll add it to my list. But that is kind of where you can also put for me if there are any specific prizes you're hoping to win, because I'll add it to my list and try and see if we can get them. Because one of the other things that's really cute too are these like bee trinkets. I don't know if you've seen them. I think I made a project or two with them, but they're little itty bitty tiny bees. Look how tiny those are. Isn't that crazy? So crazy. Okay. So I haven't done much stamping since last week's Make It Monday. In fact, it's such a blur already. I don't even remember what I made last Monday. Was that the butterfly tags? I remember Cheryl doing a post saying, hey, that would look so cool on a white gift bag. So guess what? We put it on a white gift bag. I'm pretty sure that that's what we ended up making. Okay, well, let's get crafting then. I wanted to make this card using some of the fun celebration items. So even though this card last week, remember I used some of that beautiful fresh freesia, this designer series paper is the Unbounded Beauty. So in case you have some of that inside your stash, that's what we're going to be focused on. And this card is coined as being a corner fold card. But the problem is there are some actual corner fold cards out there. So I'm claiming this as the corner unfold card because we're unfolding the corner. So this is how I'm referencing it. This is how I'll post it. I sure hope others will, but if you're searching for other ideas, you might have to search for corner card, but note that you're going to get a couple different varieties. Okay, but that's the card we're going to recreate today. And with that, I'm going to use this beautiful paper. I've already pre-cut everything. I will share the measurements again, though, if you weren't able to grab it. I just wanted to share with you, again, the designer paper that we're using. So we're using the Marbled Elegance paper. It is like so absolutely beautiful. It's double-sided. One side has the gold accents on it, and then the other side is just the pattern. And I think I've made something on here with you guys before, I think. I don't recall what it is. I might have just showed you a card that I made. Maybe I didn't actually walk through. Oh no, we made a gift bag at Christmas time. That's what it was. Do you remember? And I don't remember who won it, but it had a little pocket in the front with a tag. Yeah. That's what we made with that. But now it's time to make some everyday cards, and in fact, I pulled out that heart-shaped stamp set that's part of Celebrations, as well as the Hearts of Elegance stamp set. This is absolutely beautiful, and it just is beautiful with this paper. So I thought I'd try and incorporate that, as well as the dies. Here are the Hearts of Elegance dies that coordinate with it, and there's a couple of stitch shape ones. So this just has a stitch outline of the heart. This one has some fun leaf stitching, and then this one has a thick stitch all the way around. I am having some issues actually though with it coming out. One of the tricks I have is that when I die cut, I'll like chuck it on the floor so that the paper pops out. And it works on some stubborn dies, but with those stitch dies, I seem to have to like flex it in the die, and I still can't even pick it up. I can't use a pokey tool because it puts a hole right through the image, or like right through the die cut. So last night I was cutting a bunch and I was literally chucking them, and by doing that it just let air flow through, I think, the stitch marks from kind of where I was bending it, and then there'd be one little tiny gap that I could peel it away, just one, but I had to really chuck it. So I'm sharing that because I'm hoping if you have these dies, you're not experiencing the same thing, because I am going to call Stampin' Up! Tomorrow to get a new one assigned. So if you do, just message me, let me know. That way I can pass that on to them, that there are others experiencing the same thing. But otherwise, everyone else is fine. It's just me. I'm sure it's my used plates and how I press things through. Okay. Anyways, we have all of our paper cut, and I just realized I didn't put a score mark on here. Oh my gosh. That's okay. It's just already I'm having to use a measure, which is fine. I don't mind. Okay. 2.5. That's what I thought. Okay. Okay, so we're just going to put that aside. I'm going to go over all of the pieces of paper. Okay. So we have our pattern paper. So I want to let you guys know I started out with full sheets of paper, and I share that because I have leftovers and I want to actually craft with the scraps. And so that way if you're crafting with me, you'll craft with those scraps as well. So I cut this piece of designer series paper to be 6 3/4 by 8 inches. 6 3/4 by 8 inches. And then you'll need another piece that's 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches. And then you'll trim another piece at 2 1/4 and 2 1/4. And in fact, you know what I should do? Here, let me try this right now. Just in case this, I'm hoping that at least one of you will find this helpful. I'm just getting my glass mat. I'm going to put my glass mat right here. Just for a moment while we're going through this. Okay, here's this. And I'm going to grab myself a little whiteboard marker. And this is what we'll just do to help you grab some of this. Okay. So this piece, what did I say? It was 6 3/4 inches by 8 inches. Can you read that? Or am I doing this for nothing? There, I think you can read it now, right? Hey, Joanne. Okay, and so then we've got a 2 1/2 inches by 2 1/2 inches. And we've got one that's 2 1/4 inches by 2 1/4 inches. Okay, so that's your designer series paper. And then what we're left with should be these pieces of paper. Okay, I just have some scraps based on what I trimmed down. So this is what I'm going to use for my project afterwards. I'm probably not going to use it all anyways, but figure we'll get it going. Hey Virginia, welcome. Okay, so that's what's left. Now to go into our colored cardstock, next you're going to need a piece of, this is our card base, and so I've cut this to be just like a regular 4 1/4 inches by 5 1/2 inches. And then we have another coordinating card base. So this is for the bottom of the card, remember? So on this one, I have the bottom as bubble bath, and then I have some berry burst right here, but I've decided to use all fresh freesia to coordinate with this pattern paper that I'm using. So this other piece of cardstock is sized at 3 3/4 inches by 5 inches. Okay. Oh, sorry, 5 1/2 inches. Yeah, that should be the same length as that, right? No, just wait. No, I was right, 5 inches. Oh, I should always trust my instincts. Okay. There we go. Okay. 3 3/4 by 5. I hope you can read that. There's so much glare, hey? Here, maybe let's just go down a little closer. Okay. So those are those pieces. And then I have a scrap piece of the same colored cardstock measured at, like, it doesn't matter how long. I just did it for 5 1/2 inches because I was using scrap off a piece that I had. You'll want it at least 4 inches long, but 4 1/4 is good, or 5 1/2, whichever, by 1/8 of an inch. Okay. So we're going to put 1/8 of an inch by 5 1/2 inches, but it's really just a scrap. And that's what this is. Okay. And then we've got some white cardstock. And this is going to be cut to, this one is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. So 3 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inch. And then we have this one, which is 2.5 inches by 4. So we got 2.5 inch by 4. And then lastly, we've got a 2.5 by 2.5. Now, are you able to see that? I'm feeling like all those measurements are coming off. I guess I really needed a black marker. Hey, can you guys read the measurements? Or am I, is this what I'm trying to do, like, pointless? Okay, 2 1/4 by 2 1/4. Okay, so we got our white, our cardstock, and our designer series paper. When you're done cutting your cardstock, if you ended up taking a full sheet of coordinating, you'll have these pieces left over. And then if you have some white left over, this is what you'll have. So we can play with that. Now we're ready. We're gonna just start building. So hopefully you guys can see that. Hopefully you took a picture with your phone for those measurements. But I did post them. Well, actually, I didn't post them fully. I think I just posted what you needed. But let me know if you need anything. Hey, Sherry. But you can take a quick snap at that. It's just too bad there's a lot of reflection. So I apologize. It's just the way my lighting is in here. There. All I need is like a little shelter over me. I feel like I might need one of those soccer tents. This lighting is an issue. I don't have light directly above me, but I do on either side of my shoulders. And the reflection just drives me nuts. Okay, but let's start getting crafty with all of those pieces. I'm just gonna move the glass board, drop the pieces. We'll put this back over here. I should have taken a picture of that. Oh well, too late. Okay, so I did change my blade late last night, but I think I'd already pre-cut some of these. So I just need to clean these up a little bit with my sanding block as we go. We're not going to start with these. We're actually going to start with our big piece of designer series paper. So again, you'll just want to make sure that's cut to 6 3/4 by 8 inches. And you can either pull out your score tool, the big thing, or you can use your scoring on your trimmer. Because all I'm going to do is, oh, just wait, I'm having a moment. I think I said 2.5. Let me just double check that. Because for whatever reason, I didn't write down my score. Oh, yeah, I did. 2 3/4. Okay, 2 3/4. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score this. Let me do this first before you guys do, just in case I really flub up. But I want to pick like which side's going to be my inside versus which side's going to be the outside. And so because I'm scoring down, that's going to help me fold this down so that this goes this way. But I need to make sure that I'm folding on the right side. So I'm scoring this at 2 3/4 this way. I'm just triple checking. Just wait. I just really want to make sure. Okay, yeah. See, I've already screwed up. It's 2.5 inches. What the heck? No, it's like 2.5 plus an 8. Sorry, just a sec. Let me think this through. Yes, 2.5 plus an 8. 2.5 plus 1/8, which is one large notch. And what I'm doing is I'm scoring all the way across. You just let me make sure. I just need to make triple sure. Yes, 2.5 plus an 8. Okay, 2.5 plus one notch, which is an 8. So I'm scoring that. And then I'm turning this counterclockwise. Sorry, sorry, I guess it's, okay, now I lost my score line, just a sec. Okay, so I said 2.5 and 1/8 here, but now I need to score it this way. So I guess I'm turning it clockwise. Turning it clockwise, one turn, like 1/4 of a turn. Again at 2.5 plus 1/8, so 2 5/8. And I'm diving in. Okay, there we go. I'm making this seem very hard. It's not this hard. I'm now going to fold along those score lines, just so that I can see what I'm playing with. Okay, like so. Now, see, I screwed this up already. I did the scoring on the corner where I wanted the flip to come this way. But instead, I scored it on this side, so it's coming this way. Which is okay. It just means I'm going to have my corner fold coming from the other direction. Because you see how I have this laid on this side? I'm now going to end up having it on the other side. And that's okay. Mess ups happen, but I really do want the marble to be the outside, not the inside. Or at least I don't think I do. Maybe I want the marble on the inside. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should I have the marble on the outside of the card, or should I have the replay? Oh, poor Lorette. Early day. That's okay. You can catch the replay and make it when you're feeling fresh, and then maybe you'll make a few of these. So I have a decision to make on what that looks like. And so Deborah's saying, okay, let's have the marble on the outside. So perfect. I'm just adjusting this. So keep that in mind when you're making your card, because I really should have scored from the opposite side. So although I had the front up and then put it in at 2 5/8, first I should have had the back side of it in at 2 5/8. And then that way I would have been able to score it from the left side, which is what I wanted. But it's not a big deal. Whichever side you end up with, the card will look just as good. Okay, so now we have that where it's scored on both sides. But now we have to get that corner fold in. And all I want to do is I'm going to bend this to the corner. I want to kind of get that corner, bend it in. And I don't want to press it too hard, but I do want to just kind of get that corner, and I'm just lightly bending it. I'm not putting a big strong thing in it. I just want to know where those sides are. See that? Because what's going to happen is where these other sides are, I'm just bending it right here, and then here's the other one here. I'm just bending that so that I kind of know where that corner is, because what I want to do is I want to be able to fold these in. Okay, sorry, just a sec. I have to think this through. I should have made this like 500 times. I didn't, but ultimately where I bended that to be this way, I need to actually also bend it the other way, because it's the other way that I need it to bend. But it's fine for me to go like this. It just means that when I go to bend this like this, now you can use a score blade going from this corner to where that bend is if you want. I'm doing it all just with my bone folder. I'm not looking for perfection with this. I really was about me making sure that that corner was where I wanted it, lining up with the score lines on the score lines on here. Okay, do you see? Lining it. So there's no like special things other than I've taken that bottom corner where the score intersects. I've folded this over so that that corner gets folded over, and then the score lines on either side match up with the score lines that are under here. But again, I'm not pressing hard, remember. I'm just lightly kind of tapping where that needs to go, because now what I need to do is fold that in the other way. Does that make sense? it'll make it'll make more sense as you're bending it. You may want to practice even on an old piece of designer paper, one that's not so, that might not be so precious. But like, because you have those folds there, it should just like really easily line up to where you need to be. And again, I'm just lightly pinching because there's where the fold is. But now, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold that in, and I'm just kind of working it. Do you see what I'm doing there? Because now those folds all are kind of just in there to play with. And so I'm folding this bottom fold in like so. And I'm just kind of, now I can push it down a little bit more. I'm folding in the other one, which ends up kind of coming down. And then this just allows me to flatten that square. Once I'm happy and I think everything's working good, I can then start scoring with my bone folder. But before I do that, I just want to make sure you're all with me. It seems more complicated than it is. Even if you want to just play with a photocopy paper, trim to size, the more you practice, the more it'll come. This is literally only the second time I've made this card, and it really is simple, but it's all about following the score lines, right? So I'll just kind of walk you through that again. So we had our, our 2 5/8 that we scored. So then we have that intersection, right? And then what we did is we ended up taking this and folding it at that intersection to come down as if we were moving to the center, but it's over center, but you're just making sure that that bottom corner is what's at the top. And then you're lining up the score lines on the top with the score lines on the bottom to kind of get it into place. So that was step number 2. Okay. And then you're kind of like marking where these sides are, because then you have to fold those sides over and just kind of press them to where they are, because now that's what's folding in as a triangle. It ends up making a little triangle. So, and you should, like, it lines up with that side of the card. And then I'm pushing that one in. So you got those 2 that line up, and it just comes down like that. Does anyone have any questions? Because I'm actually going to start just scoring this a little bit, just to kind of flatten it. Because now that I'm happy with where everything's sitting, I'm just going to make it a little more permanent. So I'm not pressing too hard on anything until I'm satisfied where this is, because I do want this lined up to the side if possible. I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world, because most of it's going to be covered up anyways if it's not perfect. Like, mine is not going to be perfect, because it really all is estimating. I mean, you could get out your ruler and your pencil and do more precision with this, but this is all about a quick, fun fold that's easy to do. And now here's our corner fold. You see? You see? Super easy. Okay. Now that we got the hard part out of the way, we dropped a whole bunch of viewers. I don't like the sounds of that. Oh, well, that's okay. It just means it was a little complex, and you guys will come back to it in the morning when you've got fresh eyes. I hope you'll make this card, because I'm like really happy with how it turns out. So I'm going to go ahead and put some seal on here. And I'm just going to center this. So this is just slightly smaller than the card base. And all I'm doing is putting it right over top. So now it's a little more sturdy. It's not just this, but it's right there. Okay. Yay! We're getting closer. We're getting closer. Now on the inside, we're going to go ahead and we're going to mount our basic white piece. I mean, I probably should stamp first, but I'm not. We're going to mount this first, because you know what? There's no going back after this. So I'm just mounting my white, and this is so that we can write our greeting or stamp our greeting. And I'm mounting that on the other colored piece of cardstock. And then we are mounting this right here. Okay, perfect. Oh, so cute. I just absolutely love these colors. Now we have some other pattern paper that we need to address. I feel like I'm missing a piece of colored cardstock. Did I show you guys only 2 pieces? Yeah. I think I might have cut an extra white instead of an extra. See, this is why you guys are watching me do this. This is so funny. We need the one that mats over top of this. So we need a piece of colored cardstock that is 3 7/8. No, it shouldn't be 3 7/8. What should it be? It should be 2.5 by, no, sorry, it should be 4 by 2 1/4. Let me just cut it first, you guys. Let me cut it first. It's too bad. I thought we had a card left over from that piece of cardstock. But we don't. Okay, 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Does that sound right? That doesn't sound right. This is 2.5, so I need this to be 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, 2 1/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so you do need one more piece of colored cardstock, so good thing we had our scraps set aside. Okay, and so then, no, that wasn't right, you guys. Even that I couldn't get. How is it that I cannot figure this out? 2 3/4. Oh my gosh. Okay, I've just messed up those scraps. And this is why I am doing it. This is also why I shouldn't have done it a week ago. This is why I have to make the cards before the project. So that I actually remember. I mean, ideally I should have written it all down, but apparently I didn't. I just wrote down the cutting. Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm going ahead and I'm mounting that white piece on top of my piece of colored cardstock that I had to cut. And I had to cut it to 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay. And now this piece is, we are layering this pattern paper. Now it's up to you which side you want. I'm actually going to mount, I'm going to put the other side forward so that it's a little contrast. But you can pick whatever works best on your project. And where this goes, actually, this little one, when I open up the card, this goes in here. Actually, I might have wanted the marble. Now I'm regretting that decision. I am regretting that decision. Good thing I have some scraps left over. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Okay. So just keep that in mind before you maybe put down the DSP. Just take a look to see what part is actually going to show on top. Instead of wrecking this paper, we're just going to mount this right over top, and hopefully you can't tell. There we go. Sorry, that's for the inside right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and mount that on the inside. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, and then we'll put something really cute, a heart of some sort using those dies. Now, where this goes, so remember how I said a lot of this is going to be covered, you're not really going to notice? That's because this is the focal point. So this is going to go over top like this, a little bit over the side, a little bit down from the top, and then you can decide which side of this you want to show. Now again, this is where I want the contrast, contrary to that other one that was for the inside of the card. So because I'm happy with this, I'm just going ahead and mounting this, but I'm not mounting this onto the front yet because I want to make sure I kind of finish my design first. Okay, so we're pulling this off. This is where that 1/8 strip scrap comes from. Apparently I did a really poor job using my sanding block. I need a tinier one. I need to find my little mini heart. Okay, but you can use either, you know, your white glue or your fine tip glue if you have it. I don't have any fine tip glue right now. I'm not too sure why. But I'm just going to go ahead and just add some of this adhesive just directly to the back of it. I can pick off any that might end up sticking. And I'm going to mount that just right over top of that DSP. And then I'm going to trim it off. Now you can either go right over, but I'm just stopping where I ended up putting that DSP, and I'm just giving it a little snip like so. And that just kind of cuts it off. It puts it where it needs to be. So now I need to find a lovely saying that'll work really good. And I think that this sending lots of love will be nice to have for this project. I think this will be my husband's Valentine's Day card. Shh, don't tell him. I probably should have done it in red, but I really wanted to use the fresh freesia. Or maybe I'll use this for Kira. I'm going to use some Melon Mambo. And we are going to stamp lots of love. Now, before I go and do that, I'm just kind of wondering, is there anything else that I want to do? Is there some other something that I might want to add to this? And I think there is. So this is where I kind of look at the two stamp sets to be like, what else should I do? Maybe I should add a heart underneath to stamp over. That's what I'm thinking. But I'm worried it might be a little too big. So I'm just going to size it out here. Oh, it's kind of perfect, actually. Okay, we're going to try it. We are going to try it. I'm going to use the heart. I need a scrap piece of paper, and I'm going to use coordinating color Flirty Flamingo, because that's what coordinates with this paper. Now, the problem is Flirty Flamingo is going to be really, really strong. It'll be definitely overpowering. So we are going to use a scrap piece of paper to do some stamp off repetitions. Now I need to test it a little bit first, because I don't want to just put it on and then be like, ooh. So I'm stamping off once, I'm stamping off twice, I'm stamping off 3 times to see which version I like more. And I actually like the third stamp off version. It's more to the color that this is, but it's faded enough that it's not going to pop out as being like a bold statement for the card. So let's try this again. I just need to make sure it's fully stamped, although it needs to be re-inked desperately, I see. So we're stamping once, stamping off twice, and I'm stamping the 3rd time just in the center of my project there. So I'm happy with how that turned out. It's not too bright at all. So I like to try and maximize the stamps that I'm using within. And so that way we get, you know, I feel like I'm using my stamp set more when I do that. And I'm just going to go ahead, full strength, sending lots of love. Oh my gosh, that is just so gorgeous. I love it, I love it, I love it. Okay, but now because I want to play with some embellishments, I have my fresh freesia ribbon that I got free. With every $75 I spend, you get to pick a free product. This might not be what you pick, but I am obsessed. I'm buying a lot of it because I'm hoping to have a class in March that I'm going to embed a lot of the ribbon in as part of the project. So even if it's not something you have on your list right away, just make a note that this and embellishments is what I'm ordering a lot of to try and incorporate in classes. So you'll hear more about that. And speaking of which, I was having issues with my registration form for my perpetual calendar night. So we are all getting together in person at the Tabletop Cafe in Edmonton. It's just off 75th Street and 53rd Avenue. And it's a games room. It's where they have board games and everything, but I make arrangements there and they let us use their tables for crafts. And as part of it, I get everyone a little latte. You guys, lattes on me. We just sit, we craft, we have fun. You should be in and out of there in no more, like in 2 hours, but of course you can stay as long as you want. I think the place is open till like 2 o'clock in the morning or something silly. But we are just going to have a bunch of fun. So if you want to take part, see, I've done some changes to the settings. If you can't get in, that's okay. You can ask me for the information and I'll send it to you. I honestly don't know why we're having so many issues. And this is why you did not see the post for my retreat. So I wanted to have the retreat details up and loaded and ready for registration. But with this hiccup with the Google form, I don't know if there was settings changed, but it's not working. And this is the second form it did this to. So I need to do a little research and find a different format to get registration accepted in. So I apologize for that delay. I will have it up and going by next Sunday. And I'm excited. Bingo stuff's all ordered. That should be here this week. It'll be regular pickup times though. It will be ready by Friday morning for sure. We have it all going. It's almost ready. We'll have pickups Friday night in Leduc. We will have Northside pickup Friday or Saturday. Let me know your preference. I'm pretty sure I know one of you wants it Saturday. We've got a West End that I will make arrangements because I'm sure one of us is going out there, so we'll figure that out. Otherwise, you can pick it up at my place starting Friday morning, and I'm super excited about that. That'll be a fun bingo. I'm just excited about the card class that's coming with it. Okay, I think that that's good. So now the trick is you want to make sure it's really staticky actually. My cure for the static. I don't know why this ribbon is staticky, but you know what? I will take static over a mold smell any day. I noticed the last couple of years the ribbon that came out of Celebrations was all moldy, almost like the train or the ship it was on had moisture in it. But all you do is you take your embossing buddy or even a bounce sheet and you just like wipe it on it and it completely fixes the problem. It doesn't stick anymore. So your embossing buddy is your friend with ribbon too. It's just a static remover. Okay. Then when I'm going to put down this, I don't even know what I call it, my card front, I guess, I want to make sure that I'm only putting adhesive on the little bit here. So I'm actually only going to put it a little bit down, a little bit over. I'm just making sure I'm only putting it where this is going to sit. I want to make sure that it doesn't stick on here. The only place you want adhesive, look at this, my hair is everywhere. I just adhered my hair to the front or to the card. Like how? Maybe it's not my hair. Maybe it's that gold trim. Oh no, it's my hair. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. Must have got caught on my fingers as I was trying to get static off my ribbon. Okay. So now, again, I only have adhesive on that one part, right? Because I want to make sure it doesn't stick to here. So it's really just in the upper corner here. And then just like this, now I can open my card this way. Look, how did I get pink ink in there already? Like seriously? It's because I got it all over my hands. It must be all over the container. So be careful when you grab your inks. I guess I really need to clean those. Okay. Now, sending lots of love. And on the inside, I want to say Happy Valentine's Day. But you know what? I think I want that same heart as I did on the front on the inside. It'll just all flow nicely. We'll turn this over. Again, it was the 3rd generation, so I'm stamping off once, off twice, and step 3 is in the center. Now the reason why I'm choosing the center is because I had that strip of color in there. You definitely don't want that. Okay. And then we are sending the love. No, I don't want sending lots of love. I want Happy Valentine's Day. Dun, dun, dun. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day. Woohoo! Thanks, Cam. That is a good tip for the ribbon, especially if it's super sticky or super staticky. Okay, like look how cute that is. But do you also see here how there's gold flashing on here? This is where I might want to bring in my gold foil paper and dies to add a little extra to it. So I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to make a little heart. Now, let's see this fully stitched heart. It's almost too big. It hides all that gold splatter, so I don't want that one because it's too big. So we will do just a little heart, a little gold heart in the corner, and maybe a flower or two. I gotta think about that. I might need some time, and I might have to show you in a little video what I end up putting there. But what I do know is that we have all these beautiful, beautiful sequins. Like I said, is also part of celebration that I am going to want to add to this. Now, look at, there's some pinky ones, there's like some iridescent, there's some really bright. These are almost very burst color, and these are like fresh freesia color. So because I'm going to add these to the pink, I'm actually going to grab these ones. Plus I haven't used them yet apparently. And I'm going to grab one of each size so I can put, let me just try and show you here. I've got one big one, one little one. I really like it because you can see there's something flashy there, but you can't really tell what it is. That's what I love, love, love. Okay, but I'm going to stop there because I'm going to add a third element because we always do things in threes, right? Odd numbers make things look better. So I've got these beautiful these brass hearts. I love them so much. But I just want an itty bitty tiny one that I'm going to add just up a little bit so that it's not quite in the cluster, but it's around the same area as the cluster. And it just allows, if my eyes are going down here first, it just allows it to float up, kind of like a floating heart. So that's just a little bit of embellishment. I need nothing more on the front. And then we just need to open it up and do something here. I don't know why this is bothering me so much. I cannot figure that out. Okay. I don't really want to do a flower because, as you all know, I'm not the biggest flower fan. I mean, I've made some projects with the flower and it is beautiful. Don't kid yourself. But maybe we just need to test out the gold. So I'll test out the gold by die cutting these two. I just need to go grab the gold. I put it away over here somewhere. Okay. So there is a package of foiled paper. You get gold and silver. I'm just trimming it. It's 12 by 12. And so I'm going to run through the two stitched and we'll decide which one is the better one. Okay, and then you guys can watch me with this. We'll see. See, look how tight they are. It's like my machine really squishes them. Does anyone have any celebrations this month or in the next couple of weeks that they're making cards for? are having to host a party. I feel like I'm so out of the loop, especially when it comes to school and school parties. Like, do people still make Valentine's Day treats for school? I mean, just with 2020, I know that a lot of things shifted, but I feel like I haven't had to make them in so long. Okay, so look at how beautiful that stitched heart is. Oh my gosh, Deborah, 3 kids' birthday or grandkids' birthdays all close together. Oh my gosh, I feel for you. But how fun to be able to have fun with all of them. That is a lot of birthdays. We're celebrating Creative Carnival. I hope some of you are coming to that. Okay, so we got the small stitched heart and we have the big gold heart in gold. Like, it's absolutely beautiful. But then look, I could put it off the page, but because if I put it on the page, it covers up that splatter, and this is what I don't want. I don't want that splatter covered. So we are just going to go with the small heart. Look at how cute that is. That way I can keep the splatter, but I still feel like something more is needed. And it's like, do I add more sequins? Because I have lots, I can do that. Do I add another heart in there? But the thing is like when I open it, I don't want to necessarily follow that. I want to look at the message, but I almost feel I need some of that gold twine. Do you remember that gold twine? It's sold out for a while, but it is back. I'm just looking. I don't think I have my roll. I need to go grab a scrap out of my jar. Except there's a problem. I don't have scraps in my jar. Because I empty my scrap jar. Does anyone else have a scrap jar? Oh, what's this? Just wait. I found some scraps. They're just in a different pile. Okay. So I think we can put some of this messy. So this is just that gold twine. Remember that I unpulled the thread, so there's like 6 pieces of thread in it. That's what I'm going to put behind the heart. That'll satisfy me with the texture that I feel this card still needs. But what I'm going to do is I just need 2 strands of this. I don't need 3. And in fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pretend I'm tying a bow. So here's another trick. You can do this with any ribbon. I'm just going to happen to do this with this thread. And I'm just going to pretend I'm tying a bow, but I'm not actually tying it. Or you could tie it. But I'm just going to, yeah, I'm going to tie a bow actually. Because this is long enough, I think. It's so fine that it's not as easy to do. But I'm looping, I'm going around, and then I'm pulling through. Maybe? Okay. I guess we're not because that's being too fussy, but what I'm doing is I'm looping once, and then I'm pretending I'm looping again, but the other way. So then I squeeze it in the middle, and then I put adhesive on the back of that heart, and I'm just putting the center there. So then I should have the loops all here. Apparently that loop fell off. But we'll call that the lazy man's bow. Okay, that's not a nice word for it. The fast and easy bow. That's what that is. Okay, and then I'm just going to fix that. I don't like how far out that is. Once you're content with it, it's all crooked. I don't know if I did that or it's just the bow. It is really messy, like really messy. So we're just going to fold that in a bit. Yep, it's good enough. We're going to make it work. And I'm just going to throw a dimensional on there. Just one big one right smack in the center. Not that I need that corner any thick than it already is, but that's going to allow me to put the heart. I can put it on an angle or not. And then when I close this, you might see little pieces coming out of the edge, but actually that's okay because you guys all know I really like that shabby look. And I think that that's fine. But I am going to add a heart. I feel like we could have a medium-sized heart in there somewhere. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll put it up here. 5. That way, when the receiver is opening it, it's just like so. So there's our corner card. So which one do you like better? Do you like the Unbounded Beauty or the Marbled Elegance? Of course, one is a birthday card and one is an elegant card. I guess Deborah needs some ideas for grandkids cards. I don't have grandkids yet, so I actually don't have very much of those cute little stamps. I'm sure you stocked up on them though. So let us know in the comments which one you like better. It doesn't stay closed per se. I could probably work it so that it is a little more flat. I could put books on it before I put the ribbon. That would have to kind of be the caveat. But once you tuck it in an envelope, and if it's sitting in there for a while, it should be fine. Good question. Will it stand? No, it won't. It's not a standing card. Well, I guess it does. I lied. It does stand. Not securely though, because it's relying on this little piece of designer series paper to stand, but it stands. Ideally, hopefully they'd have it leaning against something or maybe have a little piece, but it actually doesn't look that great standing, but they can do that. Okay, so let's take those scraps now and turn them into something wonderful. So remember I said we had a bunch of white. There's like a whole bunch of pieces. So I went and made a tag again. I really should be doing more of the one I'm doing for Creative Carnival, but I'm not, because I want to use up all my scraps. So let's do something similar with this. I really do like this. So let me, I think I just want to go down probably about this far. Yeah, you know, let's just estimate. It's like this much. Somewhere I have my ruler. Is it here in view? No, of course not. There it is. It's right in view on my right hand side. So I just want to cut off 3.5 inches. And I'm going to cut that lengthwise here. It's just going to be, again, I'm picking the side that has a little bit more fresh freesia to show off. So I think I'll do it this way so that it shows off more at the top. And then I am actually going to go ahead and snip the bottom. Now I'm not adhering it yet because for this tag I want to do some distressing with my sponge. You guys know I like doing that. Okay, but look, I have this scrap from the bottom. Will that fit here as a nice topper? It might. Let's see. Instead of having to cut another piece, I can just use this scrap. Wouldn't that be lovely? Because it's the same width. I probably should be using my big scissors with this, but yay! Look it worked. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh no, not yet. I'm getting ahead of myself. I need to do my sponging. So Pebble Path. This is the color I love using. If it's not black, it's Pebble Path. It just depends on what tone goes better with what we're using. Now, if you have a sponge dauber, you can use that too. But again, I just don't like how it has the concave, like it round, so it ends up putting more on top of the paper than I prefer. But that'll do if you don't have a flat sponge. So again, I'm just distressing the sides. Now, You could use a distressing tool. You could use scissors to scrape up the sides. I didn't want to do any of that. I'm just putting this kind of like dark, dirty, it almost reminds me of dirt, all around it, just to give it that look. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. I'm probably still going to need it. But now I can go ahead and mount this to my tag base. So I'm just going to line that up to the sides. I've already pre-cut it, right? So it's to the size of my tag and where the cut is. Oh, and I should mention, like I pre-cut this in the one of the last videos I shared. 3.5 by 7.5, I believe this is. Yeah. Is the tag size that I'm using from now on. And so I'm just going to have them pre-cut, pre-punched, and we'll see where that goes. Now, I kind of didn't cut, or I didn't mount that close enough. So I feel like I have to trim that. I either have to trim it, which isn't going to be pretty, because then I'm probably not going to get that side the way I want it, but it's better than seeing. Oh, except I think I'm wrecking it. I put a new blade in and I just wrecked my new blade. How could I have done that already? That was only my second cut with it. Okay. I had to trim that off because it was really bugging me. So I guess I could have mounted that before I did that, that's my lesson. And now I can put this on. Just so that, we get to see both sides of that pretty paper. Dun, dun, dun. Just making sure it's okay, because I really don't want to trim that down. Might have to, but if I trim it down, I'm going to have to, yeah. See, I guess I should have waited till I had that mounted before I distressed it. Just because if someone turns this over, you don't want them to see. Okay. But then that just means I just need to go in again and touch it up, which is all fine and dandy. Okay. But then all that leaves me is this, that space. So you know what it's going to be. I bet you know what it's going to be. In fact, you know what? I think we should do shadow stamping, you guys. This is getting us ready for Groundhog's Day. Do any of you guys make anything for Groundhog's Day? Oh, what size is the finished card? Yours didn't turn out. Oh, no. Well, the finished card is a standard size. So the card base, Daleen, is 5.5 by 4.25. And that's what your pattern paper mounts to, the card base. So it should end up being the same card base as a standard card. It's just this will be a little shorter. This will be 5.25 by 4, like the pattern paper part that we cut. So hopefully that helps. No, Amy, the tool I was using isn't a Stampin' Up! Product. The dimensional is the alternative that you can use, or these dimensionals. They're super cute. This just has a round part on it, and it just puts the ink on too thick for my liking. But this is definitely an awesome tool that we use all the time. I've been getting into the flat one because of my scrapbooking, because I've been going back to that a little bit more. And it just helps with the larger surfaces and stuff. So now I want to stamp Happy Valentine's Day, but I want to attempt, I do want to attempt shadow stamping. So I'm giving you guys a teaser because I'm going to share this on my socials on Groundhog Day. But you can only do this with photopolymer stamps, right? Because they're see-through, so you can line things up better. I'm actually going to start with my Pebbled Path is the color I'm choosing to use because I want this as my background. And so I'm going to center, but then I'm just going off by like 1/8 of an inch or 1/16 of an inch, not much. And I'm stamping. And so I have it in that same color that I was distressing. So that is Pebbled Path. And now I am inking it up. I'm stamping it up. I'm stamping it up with Melon Mambo. And now I want the pink to be the front. So I'm just hovering just to go over just slightly, not a whole lot, just a little bit. But it's like, how do I line this up with everything so it ends up being kind of the forefront? So I don't know if this is going to turn out. I'm closing my eyes and hoping. There we go. It almost looks, oh, what's that term? It almost looks like 3D. It has kind of like that psychedelic image to it, but that's shadow stamping for you so that you have two colors in one. I'm just going to go ahead and punch out that hole just so that. Do you guys all, does anyone still have that hole punch, the Stampin' Up one? Stampin' Up doesn't sell them anymore, but it definitely is like, it's a good sized punch, so I probably will never let that one go. So we have some hearts there. Happy Valentine's Day. This is kind of cute. You can just say, hello, happy Valentine's Day, or happy Valentine's Day, my heart loves your heart. That might be kind of cute, and in fact, I'm going to do that. So don't be afraid to combine stamp sets, although I like to use all the stamps, or as many stamps as I can in my projects, like from the same stamp. I also do like to use other ones. I don't know where my long block is, so we're just going to use that. I'm going to bring back the Flirty Flamingo. Maybe. There, I put it up high. Because I don't want this to stand out per se, but I do want the saying there as something that we can see. So I'm going to stamp off once. I'm going to stamp off twice to see, do I like that second one? No. I still want the third stamp off, the third generation, just so that it's a light saying. It's not a very bold saying. And you know what? While we're at it, let's just add all kinds of other stuff. So this is what I like about the two stamp sets and why I like to combine them. This has nice, big, bold images. These are big, different fonts, but they're a good size. But then we have this stamp set. Look at it, I've already got ink all over it. Look at it. Yeah, I got to clean that ink pad. It's like it exploded on me. But there's little tiny sayings. They're not as big. Little leaves to go with the petals. Like, they're littler, so it's easy to combine different pieces. So now that we've added that, it's like, is there anything else that I want to... Oh! Celine, you're going to kill me. You are going to kill me. Your calendar just fell into my ink pad. Oh my God. Okay, I'll see how I can fix that. We need to connect to Daleen. Message me because I'm actually out your way on Saturday. So we can connect so you can get your stuff. Look at all these. Oh my gosh, I don't have a wet cloth today. Okay, I wanted to see X's and O's. So in this set, there's X's and O's, which are cute and actually totally usable. So let's add some X's and O's. But again, going back to stamping off, it's like I'm stamping in the pebbled path, but that's going to be too dark. I don't want it that dark. Do I want it that dark? Do I want it that dark? Or do I want it that dark? So it's like, you just stamp to see how dark you want it. Maybe I do want it dark. Maybe I do, because I actually don't like how light that is. So sometimes you have to just test it to see what you're going to like best. So I'm going to actually put X's and O's on this side. And all I'm doing is just, again, going through, adding the cute little stamps. Remember I noticed that little hello? Let's do hello. Now, I might be overdoing it. Some of you guys might not be a fan of the shabbiness. I love the shabbiness. We're going to do Flirty Flamingo again. But I know that with that color, I'm stamping off 3 times before I stamp it. And I'm just going to put it up in that top corner. Hello. So it's kind of like all just scattered. Let me close this before I make more of a disaster. Now we want to add some ribbon. You might not think we do, but we have all this beautiful ribbon. We have to use it. Now, the question is, do I use it as a border? No, I use this scrap as a border. So as you are cutting stuff for your card, you should have this little strip that's left. Now with this, I do need to sponge it. I need to distress it because I've distressed everything else. And so I'm going to go around the whole thing. I'm not going to do the sides yet because I have to trim it. So I'm just doing here. And I'm making a mess, but that's okay. This is a shabby card. It can be as stressed as it wants to be. There, we're going to use that. We're going to flip it over, snip it, there. And then now I can go in on the sides and add it. And in fact, I need to go over the whites that I missed anyways. So it just allows me to finish that up. Oh, look how that is standing out. So now I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to test something. I'm going to do a double ribbon with this. So let me test this for you. This is the seam binding ribbon. Stampin' Up! Used to have this in a few colors and in a little thicker. Like we had Pool Party. We had like all the colors. Love this. And so I want to test this to see, because this used to be my favorite ribbon. And I want some double bows happening. And so, hopefully I cut these the same size, I hope. I feel like one's a lot longer than the other. Okay. And so now that I got them, we're just going to tie this just like a regular bow. I'm going in, just tying. I'll play with it to make sure that that knot is somewhat half decent. And then I'm literally just doing my bows. Now, Kim, I know you've got a way to do your double bows the way you learned tying your shoes. I never did learn that way. So I'm just tying the way I learned. So all of us might have a different method for tying your shoes. But if you didn't know this now, you're learning it now at whatever age you are. I can almost guarantee you that whatever way you tie your shoes is the wrong way. There is a TED Talk out there. Go and search for it. The TED Talk, tying your shoes or tying your shoelaces. We have all been doing it wrong all of our life from the method of physics on how to never let your shoelaces ever come untied. And it's all based on how you wrap the bow. I'm too old to learn new tricks, so I probably won't ever change my way. But in case you wanted to learn the right way to tie your shoes that our parents never taught us, there you go. Okay, so as you can see, apparently static is an issue. So we're going to clean that up. Oh, wouldn't this tag look so lovely on a package of chocolates? Oh my gosh. Now I have to actually think about what I'm getting my husband for Valentine's Day. We don't normally exchange gifts, but I'm all of a sudden feeling the love this year. I feel like if I'm making them a card, I may have to do something here. Okay, so that looks nice, but to me it's still not finished off. There's something missing, right? Well, guess what? We cut out that extra heart. We need to use that extra heart. So where are we going to use it? I think that might look lovely down here somewhere. Maybe on the side. And guess what? We have more scraps of that gold thread. I guess we better use it. Okay, so apparently I'm just going to go back and forth with whatever's left over. Let's do it on here so that I'm getting enough thread, I guess, for what we need. Back and forth, back and forth. So see, this is actually how you get a lot out of that twine. That's good use. Pulling the threads out, because I've made 2 projects using that thread. Actually 3 projects, because this was the remnants of the last one. And let's put on dimensionals, because why not? We love dimensionals. We love things popped up. Okay, so this is how, and in fact, I won't go all the way up. I'm just going to go to there, I think. Oh, look how absolutely beautiful that is. But we have all that sequence, right? I feel like we need to add bling bling, bling bling. But now, depending on where we're using it, we might want some different color. I don't want berry burst, because this isn't berry burst in here at all. But definitely the fresh freesia and the pink work. So let's try some fresh freesia. We'll use some darker ones down here. So I'll use a big one and a small one. And then we're going to add a big one over here. So that's 3. But let's put 5 elements on here. So let me grab, I'm going to grab kind of a purpley iridescent one, just to have up here by the ribbon. But I want to bring back the hearts, because who doesn't love hearts? But I think I'm just going to use a little itty bitty, not a big one, and we're just going to add that there. So that way there's lots of elements. In fact, I could probably add 2 more to have a total of 7, and it'll still look absolutely fabulous. But is that not beautiful? Yeah, super, super cute. Okay, so those are my projects for you today. Again, I know I'm obsessed with tags, sorry. I also need to get other things made, which I'll be making more tags for with that Floral Delight bundle. But I wanted to play with some of the new Celebrations products, and I wanted to show you this card. So I really hope you enjoyed that little Valentine's sampler. If you haven't started making any Valentine's projects, maybe that inspired you. Is anyone's birthday this month? Is there anyone's birthday in January or February? Thanks, ladies. Anyways, let me know. Post in the comments if it is, because the first person to comment, I'll mail you this card. Otherwise, I'll save it. But I hope you enjoyed that. I'll try and get all of the pictures posted tomorrow. Like I said, bingo stuff is ordered. We should have those ready by Thursday night for pickup Friday morning. Message me, though, if you're in. I know some of you have tried to make arrangements for me to get you extra bingo cards for next month, and so I'll make sure those get in. Otherwise, I think that that's everything. Recap, watch for Prize Patrol, watch for retreat details to post by next week. Otherwise, I think we've got everything ready to go for this week. If I'm forgetting something, poke me, message me, let me know. But otherwise, have yourselves a great week. Hopefully, we'll see you this weekend. Bye for now.